Hello everyone, Insane Frame here, welcome to another video on the channel. I've been doing bits and pieces on the channel and going forwards I think Skyrim is going to be a main staple here. So we've done a couple of challenges, Jack Frost and Paul Bunyan, you all quite like them, so now it's time to move on to the heavyweights. Today we ask, can you beat Skyrim as Kratos? Those who haven't heard of Kratos and been living under a rock, he's the main character from the God of War franchise. He's a big scary tough guy who slays gods and mythical creatures for a living. It just so happens there is a mod where we can play as him in Skyrim. I have no idea what to expect, but I can say that we'll be using his axe, the Leviathan, as our main weapon of choice. So that's a huge plus as far as challenges go. I don't think this is going to be particularly difficult to complete since mods are usually very powerful. However, the main story is there for the taking, so we'll go ahead and see what it holds. But I can safely say I'm looking forward to this run as it seems like it'll be a lot of fun. And who doesn't want to be a tough as nails, butt-kicking, ass-kicking godslayer? So we'll see if Kratos lives up to that name, but a God of War themed run is certainly going to be a wild ride since Kratos is the epitome of power, ladies and gentlemen. So with all the nitty gritty taken care of, the goal of the run is simple. I had to complete the main story and we are allowed to use our fists, and other than that it's going to be using Kratos' Leviathan Axe and the age old tradition of punching people in the face. So without further ado, let's go over the rules. We can only use armor Kratos would wear. If Kratos looks like Kratos, that is pretty much the only prerequisite. Second rule, we can only use our fists and Leviathan Axe as weapons. Other than that, it's fair game. So, as with all Bethesda games, we start off as a prisoner, but we very quickly realise we're off to be executed, and we pick our race. The mod comes in handy, ladies and gentlemen, as we can straight up beat Kratos right out the gate. He looks amazing. I have to say, Oldwin tries to be a naughty boy and pick us off. I just run past him since he can't really keep up with us. And since the Empire tried to execute us, I go with the Stormcloaks for a change. And for once in these challenges, we can attack right off the bat. So we go ahead and start boxing and pummeling the Empire soldiers. We even get a finisher, so things are going well. After we escape the starter section, I don't even go for a stone. We go straight to the mine, as this is where we're going to get our armor for the run. And there's a boulder trap. And for some reason, I cannot explain why, the bandits just die with no explanation. I guess either Fallout New Vegas' Boulder City has come back for revenge, or the bandits are just terrified of boulders. But when they fall, it's their loss and our gain as we loot their armor, and Kratos is looking very, very nice. But since it's still early game, we need to get the Leviathan Axe ASAP. So we go into Whiterun and straight to the Yard to get the first major story quest and at least get the ball rolling. But we'll need something to help us in order to access Dragon Shouts. We may not have a Leviathan Axe, but we can go to Riften and grab a very jazzy item. So it's off to Riften to dive into the Rataway. We meet quite the gentleman, Guy of the Fist, and it just so happens that his room is covered in bear traps. So whilst he does hurt us quite a bit, we prime the bear traps in order to kill him. It all works out as he goes from a permanent nap, and may he enjoy Southern Guard. But we get our prize, which is his gloves, allowing us to do 10 points of extra damage. It's not a lot, but being able to do more damage with his fists is always welcome. I'll probably do this as a challenge in future maybe. Let me know in the comments if you would like that. But anyway, we now have extra damage with our boxing gloves, and it's time to take the fight to the ruins. The bandits are really easy since we can attack faster and our damage isn't too bad, so hand-to-hand is now a viable option here. We can 1v1 most enemies, so this is pretty nice. Well, we get the first puzzle. This man was unlucky, so looking around, the puzzle isn't too difficult, and once done enough times, it's fairly easy to remember. Or so I thought, as poison does going to Kratos, but second time the door opens. Now onto the creepy crawlies. As usual, I won't show them on screen, but just so you know, I'm going to show the frostbite venom to prove that the beast has been slain. In case any of you have arachnophobia, they're not appearing on screen, since it's not nice seeing that sort of thing in a video when you least expect it. We beat up the man captured in the web since he's a silly sausage and he'll likely betray us after all. And as for the undead in here, it's not actually that bad since our fist attacks are quite fast, and that additional damage really sets us apart. As long as we dodge their attacks, we can counter with a haymaker of punches. All that punching in Cyberpunk has finally paid off, ladies and gentlemen, since this is easy peasy. We open the door into the boss's chamber in a lovely animation, and then once we're in, we read the words on the wall and we start our first boss fight. No, you don't. No, you don't get to do that. See, I can just do chip damage on you. You don't know what to do you? There we go. There we go. That is how it's done. You don't want to bash your shield, because I can just hit you. Like that. If you shout, it's game over for you, sir. There you go. There you go. Once we take on the boss, it's back to Whiterun, and we meet back up with our employer, the court wizard, and his associates. But we get a pat on the back, and well done, and then a dragon attacks, which is what we've been waiting for, since we need to progress the story. So this is a very welcome addition. Upon arriving at the tower, we do the usual thing of hole up in the tower and let the guards handle everything. As they have ranged weapons, we don't, so we can't really do anything against a flying opponent. But we get a nice view from the tower. It's nice and cozy after all, ideal for a cup of Yorkshire tea. But when the dragon is defeated, we absorb its soul, so we can now use shouts against our foes. A very Kratos thing to do, I suppose. But what's more is, as we report back to Whiterun, the Greybeards decide to summon us, and due to our beard also being grey, it makes sense to go to them, so off we go. And since we need to get more powerful shouts, we also get made a Thane of Whiterun and get a two-handed axe. But we can't use it, as we can only use the Leviathan Axe, ladies and gentlemen, which is our main goal here, as we're using subpar weapons. So I see a sign that points the way where we need to go, and well, there's quite a few of them. I always go to Riften to get to the Greybeards, but this is quite a nice little detail, so thanks, Todd. This makes all the difference. Anyway, we meet someone who wants us to take supplies. Apparently there's 7,000 steps, so I decide to do the same thing and begin counting the steps one by one and see if there really is 7,000 steps. So here we go. Hey, if there's 7,000, might as well count. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 160, 161, 162, 163, 164, 165, 166, 411, 412, 413, 414, 415, 416, 417, 418, 419, 420, 643, 644, 645, 646, 647, 648, 649, 650. 700, 701, 702, 703. 703 steps. Now, I only counted them one by one. So, for example, all of these here would not count as one. So, me just stepping from this step to this step would be one. So, over 700 steps. That's still quite impressive. After counting over 700 steps and dropping the supplies off, we see the Greybeards, and they give us the next level of unrelenting force, which is very nice and important. We shouted spiritual targets, kind of reminds me of the Warlock in XCOM 2, but besides that, we have a more powerful unrelenting force, which is fantastic, and we also get to learn how to dash with World. That's really nice as well, and we'll need it for the next Greatbeard quest. Since we have the shout upgraded, it's time to go to Winterhold, ladies and gentlemen, and explore the Arctic Wastes. And whilst we're out here, we see a party that offers us meat, so we accept it since they seem merry. But we happen upon our doppelganger. This man holds the Leviathan Axe that we need, the other Kratos. He's just minding his own business, so we do what any sane player would do and attack him. Oh my god, you can one-shot me. Okay. He literally one-shots us, so this is going to be quite difficult, and he has an insane amount of HP as he just destroys us. And the poor walrus, ladies and gentlemen, the walrus, he does not think of the walrus. But I do have an idea. Since Kratos has an immense amount of health, I decide to get Dastardly since we have World, and he will pursue us. But the guards aren't interested, so I'll have to find another way to get the axe from Kratos. However, this is the first time in the challenge I'm really stumped, since Kratos just has so much health and can rage to regenerate. He is truly a force to be reckoned with, especially since we're only level 2. So I decided to start blacksmithing to get some levels up and do the age-old Skyrim grind. We just get lots of materials, make lots of gold, and just make as many pieces of blacksmithing material as we can in order to get a better weapon. And then I realised I'm an absolute potato, as I can just make a Leviathan Axe right out the gate. But at least we have a weapon now, but I keep grinding the blacksmithing so we can sharpen it to do even more damage. Simply beautiful. And we also can level up some of our other skills once our blacksmithing is up to 80. And we can smelt ebony now. I improve all my weapons and armor, so we are doing excellent, and they're all now exquisite. And since we're a high level, we also have more health, so things are pretty awesome. Now we just need some levels into handed weapons weapons, and we're off to the races. But since we've got many more skills, thanks to blacksmithing, I decided to have another crack at this Kratos gentleman, since he's an absolute beast. Run! Run! He's enraged. He's a very angry man and dead. As much as I try, this Kratos is the real deal, and we are clearly a copy. Maybe we'll try and beat him as a post-game boss or something, but either way, we have a decent axe and passable armor, so things are not looking too bad. But this is definitely too difficult, so I have to tip my hat off here. Well done, Sir Kratos. But with the smithing giving us a major power-up, it's back to trying to deal with the main story. And with our power boost, well, this dungeon is ridiculously easy. I actually had to check the difficulty, and we are actually playing on the correct difficulty, expert level, but this mod weapon is ridiculously overpowered, along with our improved equipment, which is nothing special, but it certainly does help. And where we just bulldoze our way through the dungeon, and when we deal with the skelly boys, we get to the end and find a note to rent an attic room. Cue the part because we have to go and meet my least favourite character in Skyrim, Delphine. But grudges aside, I go to her pretty cool hidey hole, and she wants us to kill a dragon. I like how if we weren't a dragonborn, a random person would die right about now, but since we are not only the dragonborn, but the dragonborn, we go straight to Windhelm and wave our axe around as the dragon wakes up, only to have a bold man permanently put them out of commission. It's actually pretty easy, since we are pretty damn overpowered at this point. And well, a few slashes and this guy is just no more, in a pretty cool way, might I add. Gotta admit, it was quite cinematic, and Delphine is impressed, so we head back to Riverwood and meet back up. We now have to infiltrate the Falmore embassy, so we show up in a loincloth so they know we mean business and we're here to have a good time. However, as the Falmore are welcoming as ever, we go ahead and grab our gear and screw the infiltration as we just eliminate all the witnesses so they can't report to their commanding officers. If they're dead, they can't say anything, so with that logic, everyone gets eliminated and we complete the quest in record time. After we're through with the Falmore, it's time to get Esbern, and we've already cleared some of the way to Esbern in the Ratway, so it's time to head to Ritham once more. And I also make sure to grab a perk into the two-handed tree, so our axe can now cause bleeding damage. As if it wasn't broken enough already, I think Todd is going to look over our shoulder. So moving on, we get to Esbern, and he's quite keen as soon as we say, we're the Dragonborn. So things are looking good, and as for the Falmore, well, we are pretty much OP right about now, so it's not like the real Kratos, but still a force to be reckoned with for sure, and we just absolutely destroy them. We escort Esbern back to Delphine and we get to go into more ruins. I just fumble the puzzles for the most part. Some I remember from previous runs, and we can just use our speedy shout to avoid floor traps, and then we see Oldwin's wall, which lets us go see the Greatbeards who give us our last word for unrelenting force. So it's much more powerful. Also, they give us clear sky, which just lets us do things in the main story. So we go see the Greatbeard's leader, Parfernax. Now, I have to say, Parfernax says we need an Elder Scroll in order to face Oldwin, and use the forbidden shout known as Dragonrend. As a side note, I'm sorry if I butcher your name, Parfernax. It's awkward to read and, well, very awkward to pronounce. Anyway, awkward names aside, it's over to the College of Winterhold, and I actually decided to read the book about reading Elder Scrolls, since the Dawnguard quests have a moth priest, and it's referenced here, so I found it quite interesting. Then it's off to the Icefields, and we see Sigmus, and we get the heck out of there because he gives us the items that we need. It's over to the Dwemer Ruins. Since we are pretty OP and powerful, I even decided to go for rank 3 in Barbarian to get that extra 60% damage from our axe. So it's time to complete this dungeon. It starts out fine, just some Dwarven constructs one-on-one. It's not too bad, but anymore it will get out of hand since our armor is dropping off here, but it's mainly just Dwarven worker drones. We can 2-hit KO them, so it's a cakewalk. When we get more serious hardware like a Dwarven Sphere, we can use our normal attacks and combo with our power attacks to do some serious damage against them. They are none the wiser. The elves are even easier as they aren't as tanky, but we get to the part with the Centurion. Now I know what you're thinking, the Centurion would be a problem, but really, since he's a tanky boy, all we have to do is go in, smash him up a little bit, and yes, he has a lot of health, but it can't wait and regenerate health like we can. So all we have to do, damage him, and then we can lock it back up by pulling the lever, and then go in for a second beating and just demolish it. Rather simple, really. However, we ignore the arguing people, let them do their thing, because none of our business, quite frankly. And normally I don't attack anything in this area, but we're Kratos, and of course, we kill so many things here, it's hilarious. And even even another centurion, and a small fort of family servants, and their masters are just slain by Kratos single-handedly. So now that everything is pretty much dead, we go into the Elder Scroll Sanctuary, and it's as simple as pushing buttons from right to left, or at least that's how it's sold in these playthroughs, so all is good. We return to the throat of the world and read the Elder Scroll and see the heroes, and we learn Dragonren. So now we can slay Oldwin, and speaking of the devil, Oldwin sees what we're doing, and well, we have to fight him. And I will say, compared to some of the Oldwin fights, this one is actually a real challenge, since he can one-shot us with his breath attack, so it's important for us to chip away and survive. However, the damn meteors make this a huge problem, since they can take half our health, and I eventually just keep trying. Then Oldwin for some reason doesn't want to fly, so I just decide to cut him into pieces, and it kind of felt like a hollow victory, but it did work, and we did beat Oldwin in round 1, since he's done for now. But we had the most tedious part of the game, which is getting the Stormcloaks, and the Empire agreed to a peace talk. Now, it's not a difficult quest by any means, in fact it's very straightforward, but when the peace talks are in play, it's literally just sitting there, letting the scene play out, and honestly, I usually just go make a cup of tea in real life since it's so long, and then I'll come back to have a cup of Yorkshire tea, only the best tea, ladies and gentlemen, and the meeting is still going. After everything concludes, we can now go to Whiterun, and why the Jarl and his staff fight the dragon when we're meant to capture it, I don't know. However, all we have to do is walk backwards when Oldwin walks towards us, and then he is captured. We go up to him and talk to him. We say we need to get to Oldwin's lair, so we agree to let him free and decide to have a magical moment and fly on Oldwin's back to the villain's lair. The more I think of this, the more I think it's a trap, but we land and it's time to bring the fight to Oldwin. So rather than run inside like I normally would in standard challenges, we face everything this place can throw at us, since we are Kratos after all, and we kind of have to because we are the god of war. So we start to take them out since we are pretty powerful, and this weapon is just ridiculous, ladies and gentlemen, and the results speak for themselves as we destroy 2 dragons and lots of the undead in the area. We go inside the temple and we unlock an ability in the two-handed tree called Critical Charge. So now we can sprint towards an enemy and do a power attack, and it deals a critical hit, which deals more damage than normal. So we can easily take down the enemies, and this becomes an absolute cakewalk since all the enemies here are on expert difficulty, and well, this is why mods are overpowered. We then head outside and we do the wights. They are not a problem, got to admit. Usually I just aim to run towards Sovngarde, but not this time, ladies and gentlemen. So things are just going to die to our Leviathan Axe. Then we get the priest, and then we get hit by magic, which does a lot of damage to us. It's our one weakness. Then we get used to it and it's easily done since we can use our fire shout and the enemy falls to our axe once more. So now it's the final part of the game, Sovngarde. We face the Guardian, who takes an interesting tactic of walking into a ledge, but some fire sorts that out, and we meet the heroes, and well, we clear the mist and face Oldwin, which is easier than the first time we faced him since we have allies, and well, we kick his butt, and when he's dead, we answer the question, can you beat Skyrim as Kratos? And well, yes you can. Kratos is a god of war. I'm not sure what everyone expected really, but easiest challenge ever, so there you go. Well, my thoughts on this challenge was it would be cool to do a themed run, and well, this was without a doubt the easiest challenge today. I'm not even joking, since modded weapons are just that good, and I have to confess, doing challenges like this, well, it doesn't really feel like a challenge or a challenge in the truest sense, but since I got this done really fast, I'm already working on XCOM 2 with 1 Ranger. Certainly an interesting challenge for sure. I think we're going to be having a grand old time in that one. And also, to answer the question, no, I couldn't beat Kratos in the background here. I couldn't even dent his health bar, honestly. But with all that said, thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And of course, thank you for watching, you guys. You are the absolute best, and you are an amazing, amazing people. Please, please, please look after yourself. You are absolutely fantastic, and I think I finally found my staple content again, so can get back to the regular schedule. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Please take care of yourselves. Have an amazing day and a beautiful evening. I've been Insane Frame. You guys have been absolutely wonderful watching. So you lovely, lovely audience members, take care of yourselves. And this is Insane Frame signing off. See you in the next video and take care. Bye-bye for now.